Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Jagrit, and this channel is all about making blood donation normal, accessible, and understood by every single Nepali. We are on video 11 today, and earlier in this series, we busted general myths about blood donation. But today, we are going deeper, specifically into myths and beliefs that are unique to Nepal and Nepali culture. Because the hesitations that stop a young person in Kathmandu from donating are often very different from the hesitations of someone in Europe or America. These are culturally specific beliefs rooted in religion, tradition, and social values, and they deserve honest, respectful answers. Let's get into it. Donating blood is against our religion. This is one of the most common things I hear in Nepal, particularly from Hindu and Buddhist communities. The belief that donating blood violates religious principles or is somehow spiritually harmful is widespread, and it stops a significant number of otherwise eligible donors from ever considering donation. Let me address this honestly and respectfully. Hinduism, the religion followed by the majority of the Nepalis, places enormous value on the conception of dan, which means the act of giving or charitable donation. Dan is considered one of the highest virtues a person can practice. The Bhagavad Gita, one of Hinduism's most sacred texts, explicitly describes selflessness, giving without expectation of reward as a deep spiritual and meritorious act. Blood donation is arguably the most direct expression of dan that exists. You're giving something that deeply personal, a part of your own body to preserve the life of another human being with absolutely no expectation of return. There is no financial transaction, there is no recognition. There is only the act of giving someone life who really needs it. Several prominent Hindu religious scholars and organizations across Nepal and India have explicitly endorsed blood donation as a consistent with Hindu values and a form of seva, selfless service to others. The idea that donating blood violates Hindu principle is not supported by any religious text or mainstream religious authority. Similarly, Buddhism, practiced widely across Nepal, particularly in the hilly and mountain communities, places compassion and relief of suffering at the absolute center of its philosophy. The Bodhisattva ideal, dedicating one's actions to the benefit of all beings, is entirely consistent with voluntary blood donation. Many Buddhist monasteries across Nepal and Tibet actively encourage blood donation among their communities. If you have ever been told by someone that donating blood is against your religion, I would gently encourage you to seek guidance from knowledgeable religious authorities directly. In almost all cases, you will find that your religion not only permits blood donation, it actively celebrates the values it embodies. Blood has spiritual significance. Donating it weakens your soul. Closely related to the religious myth is a more spiritual belief that blood carries a person's life force or spiritual energy, and that donating it diminishes the energy in a way that affects not just your body but your soul or spirit. This belief is understandable in the context of traditional Nepali and South Asian cultural frameworks where blood is associated with life, vitality, and spiritual essence. In many traditional contexts, blood is treated with great reverence, and that reverence is not wrong in itself. However, the conclusion drawn from the reverence that donating blood is spiritually harmful is not supported by any mainstream religious or spiritual tradition in Nepal. What traditional frameworks do consistently support is the value of giving life, relieving suffering, and serving others. Blood donation does all three simultaneously. Your body replaces the donated blood within 4 to 8 weeks. Your spiritual essence, whatever form you believe that takes, is not diminished by an act of profound generosity. If anything, most donors report feeling a deep sense of spiritual fulfillment and peace after donating. A feeling that is entirely consistent with the values of both Hinduism and Buddhism. Women should not donate blood. This is a myth I encounter regularly in Nepal, and it's one that I feel particularly strongly about addressing, because disproportionately excludes the half of the potential donor population from participating. The belief takes several forms. Some people believe women are physically too weak to donate blood. Others believe that women who are menstruating, pregnant, or breastfeeding should never donate. And some believe that broadly that the blood donation is simply not appropriate for women culturally. Let me be clear. Women are absolutely eligible to donate blood, and their blood is just as valuable as a man's blood. The physical requirements for donation: weight above 45 kgs, hemoglobin above 12.5 grams per deciliter, age between 18 and 65, apply equally to all donors regardless of gender. Women who meet these requirements are completely eligible. The specific exceptions are straightforward and medical rather than cultural. Women should not donate while being pregnant. This is a medical precaution to protect both the mother and the baby, not a cultural restriction. Women should wait 6 months after childbirth before donating. Women who are currently menstruating with heavy flow may be advised to wait until their cycle is complete to avoid donating, when their iron levels may be temporarily lower. These are sensible health precautions. They are not a suggestion that women are generally ineligible. In fact, women are among the most frequent recipients of emergency blood transfusions in Nepal, particularly due to postpartum hemorrhage during childbirth. The idea that women should not donate blood while women are dying in maternity wards for a lack of blood is painful irony that deserves to be confronted directly. Women donating blood saves women's lives. You cannot donate blood during Dashain, Tiyar, or other festivals. This is a uniquely Nepali myth and one with serious consequences for Nepal's blood supply, because it contributes to dangerous seasonal shortages at the time when demand often spikes. The belief is that donating blood during auspicious religious festivals is inauspicious, that it brings bad luck, offends deities, or it is otherwise inappropriate during holy periods. During Dashain and Tihar in particular, donation rates in Nepal drop sharply as people observe fasting, religious rituals, and cultural restrictions around the activities considered impure or inauspicious. The reality is that there is no mainstream religious basis in Hinduism or Buddhism for avoiding blood donations during festivals. The act of giving life to another person is universally considered meritorious, and a festival period when the focus is on gratitude, family, and spiritual merit is arguably one of the most appropriate times to perform such an act. More importantly, hospitals do not close during Dashain and Tiyar. Accidents still happen. Mothers still give birth. Surgeries still take place. Cancer patients still need their scheduled transfusions. The demand for blood does not pause for festivals. but the supply drops sharply. This mismatch between supply and demand during festival periods is one of the most preventable causes of blood shortage in Nepal. If you are observing a religious festival and feel comfortable donating, please do. You are not violating your religious principles, you are expressing them in their most direct and meaningful form. If I donate blood, my family will think I am sick. This is a social myth rather than a religious one. But it is surprisingly common, particularly among young Nepali people and women from more conservative families. The concern is that going to a blood bank or donation camp will lead family members to assume that something is medically wrong. That the act of voluntarily engaging with a medical facility signals illness rather than health. The solution to this myth is simple. Tell your family exactly what you are doing and why. Explain that you are donating blood voluntarily to help patients in need. Show them this video if it helps. Bring them to the camp with you. In most cases, once families understand why blood donation actually involves, why it matters, their response is pride rather than concern. Normalizing blood donation within your family is one of the most powerful things that you can do. Because families influence each other, one family member who donates regularly can inspire an entire household to participate over time. So, there you have it. These are the most common culturally specific myths about blood donation in Nepal, addressed honestly and respectfully. Blood donation is consistent with both Hindu and Buddhist values. It does not weaken your soul. Women are absolutely eligible for, and their donation saves lives. Festivals are not a reason to stop donating. If anything, they are a reason to give more, and donating blood is something to be proud of, not hidden. Share this video with someone in your family or community who holds one of these beliefs. A respectful, honest conversation based on facts can change minds, and change minds saves lives. Subscribe because in our next video, we are covering how blood donation works for athletes and physically active people, and whether exercise affects your ability to donate. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.